What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Other Side of the Firewall, where we talk about the latest and greatest of cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. So I changed up the intro because I forgot part of it. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
And LeVon Maynard.
How the hell are you?
What's going on? So this is the Friday episode, so we call this the weekly rundown. We talk about everything but cybersecurity. If you tune in throughout the week, so Monday we talked about a replay attack that's affecting Apple devices using Visa cards in a particular setting or use case. On Tuesday, we talked about the FCC tightening down on SIM swap. On Wednesday, we asked the question if ransomware is beyond the point of no return due to a recent event where it caused a fatality. It caused a baby to die due to a ransomware attack to a hospital in Alabama. And today, everything else is what we talk about. So typically I start off by asking if anybody's studying for anything.
I'm not. Here's the deal. I'm not, and I got my exam on Tuesday. Like I'm like 2 days away from my exam. I'm like, all right, I'll just bone up a little bit, get a look at the test, and better luck next time. Like I know how this is gonna end, but
okay. I mean, you get a look though,
Yeah.
and that's what helped me. I took CISP twice. I took PMP twice as well. You don't know what you don't know. Like the Boson test and all that stuff get close, but then when you actually get punched in the face with the real test, you're like, oh, now I know what I don't know. I need to go back to these particular domains. So it will give you a good taste. You might knock it out. You've been in the cybersecurity game for a while now. Not say you're old, but you've been handling it for a while now.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, but it ain't no shame in taking it multiple times. Like again, like the first time I took it, it was like
So what am
I
I doing?
I left in shock. The second time I took it, I left mad because I thought I failed.
But you had passed. So
yeah, I didn't even read the thing. I just signed the thing, took the thing off the desk, and bounced. I was in the car when I found out I passed because they don't tell you nothing. They have to have. I think it's part of the training. Like they have to have like the straight face, pass or fail.
Right.
The same thing with PMP. The first time I took it, punched me in the face. The second time I took it though, that test, I was very confident when I left. Like when I walked out of that room, I was like, "There's no way I failed this test." It's like I entered the matrix on that thing.
Damn.
And the results showed I did really well. So I'm sure you'll do just fine, sir. But yeah, getting that taste of the test though, like You say you take it on Tuesday, so yeah. So next Friday, let us know. You're gonna be like, it hurt me.
look, I'm gonna hit you up that day. Be like, oh man, I'm gonna have to take leave the next of this day. That hurt my feelings.
Right. Don't listen to Reddit. Right. I read a Reddit article before I took it where a buddy was saying, "Oh, it was so easy. People just hype it up." I was like, I don't even do cybersecurity. I work with people who do cybersecurity. Man, listen, you cheated or something. Somehow. Yeah. That test was hard as hell. But good luck to you, sir. We'll keep us posted on your journey and what have you. I'm not studying for anything right now. I do need to hit the books on CHFI because I have to figure out if my voucher is still valid or if I got to request one from my employer. Either way, I'm taking that thing during my break. So this upcoming Tuesday is the last week of this class and I get a 3-week break. So during that break, I want to get my CHFI if possible. We'll see. Hopefully I'm not too rusty. But now I'm going back and trying to conquer vouchers, like certs I had, you know what I mean, like vouchers for. So I got to do that one. I got to do my GCFA, which I'm not excited for at all. This laptop is actually sitting on top of those books. That's how tall the books are. Not excited about that test. And then I have an inkling. I got a little itch to take the CCNP. Every now and then I get I don't know, something tells me like you should get that just because you've been doing network infrastructure for so long. Don't leave that on the table. Not sure if I'm gonna take it, but I don't know, man. I'm starting to watch YouTube videos on people who passed and failed. I'm jonesing. I'm thinking about it, so we'll see. But with that being said, what have you been doing this week?
Oh man, so I was going to say that I was interested in some certifications too. I'm looking at the since I like to do stuff in the cloud. There's a Microsoft DevOps engineer expert that I was looking at. It's mostly like Azure focused,
Okay.
like DevOps. And it's a pretty cool. It's kind of something big in IT now, like with DevSecOps, trying to kind of build pipelines, things like that, to kind of automate tasks, and you can kind of deploy solutions pretty seamlessly. But I think more power to you guys. This certification is probably nothing on the level of the um, of the
CISP.
CISP. Yeah, was going to say, like, I don't know why I was going to say something else, but yeah, CISP, and then the hack and forensic investigator one that you're looking
Right.
into doing, Ryan. So I'm hoping to knock this out maybe in the next, hopefully by January of next year, I'd say.
Gotcha. But you have your CHFI, right?
Yeah, I was able to get that one, because I know
you
we,
knocked that one out. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know how long that voucher is good for, but hopefully you can,
I don't know, man. I'm
Yeah.
asking for a lot out of that voucher. Like it's probably
Yeah.
been expired.
Right,
like,
right.
like you graduated last, so
Yeah.
technically, it didn't close out to December. So like even though I passed in the summer, like I was in the matriculation period until December or whatever. So technically, I didn't graduate till December. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to fight on that. They're like, if you don't get out of here.
Yeah. Right.
But if not,
right.
I could request one from my employer. But I was hoping to have two shots at it, just in case I had issues
Right.
the first. But
Yeah.
we'll see. So speaking of cloud, that is a huge blind spot for me. If I could only take one cloud cert, would you recommend AWS or Azure? Which way should I go for my basic like practitioner certification?
That's such a good question. Why would you ask me that question? You know what I'm going to say. No.
Right. I understand you got some bias in there or whatever. But I mean, for me
no.
being a person who literally I just want to get an understanding of
No,
it,
yeah.
and potentially move up to DevOps and things of that nature. But like literally, I just want the basic understanding of cloud.
So I'll jump in here. I would probably say Azure, because look at the percentage of what they have out there, right?
Okay.
Would be what I'm saying. Like I realize AWS has a foot in the game too, right? But
Right.
Azure and that parent company, you know what I'm saying? Like they got their hands and their feet and everything. You know what I mean? You're gonna come
Okay.
across Azure a lot. Not to say you won't with AWS, but that would be what I would think would be the
Gotcha.
way forward.
Because ultimately I want to take ISC Square's version, the SSCP, I want to say. I think it's SSCP at some point, but I obviously that's at the CISP level as well. But I don't know anything about cloud aside from just the bare minimum I've touched. And I know CCNP is going to cover a little bit of it with automation and solutions and what have you. But like I've only touched physical hardware most of my career. Like it's in front of me or it's remotely there somewhere on premises. So it's brand new to me. I just don't like having blind spots, right? Like I don't want to be the dude who just has certifications to just have certifications, but like it literally is something I've never dealt with. So
Right.
So okay, I'll go Azure, but
Yeah.
I probably won't start until holiday. If I add it to my list, I'll start studying during the holiday.
You got a lot of stuff going on. You're gonna have to make the time, dude.
Right.
Classes,
Yeah, man.
classes
But
taught, classes taken.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I just like I don't know. Like I was so happy to be done with certification in school, and now for whatever reason, like whenever I sit down to play a game, I'm just like I should be studying for something. So I think I'm gonna try it out. Like the CHFI, will let me know if I'm just being nostalgic or if I really need to study and pass something. So we'll go from there. But okay, so Azure, I need to start looking at that because I literally just Googled cloud and AWS popped up and I was like, what certifications do they have? I was like practitioner, DevOps, yada yada yada.
Right.
But I know of Azure only because of Xbox Game Pass and all that good stuff. So I know it's definitely big on services. Everybody has Azure and whatnot, but I don't know anybody aside from LeVon who's doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I
But
was going to add, yeah, yeah. Wait, what was the last thing you said? I didn't
I
hear
don't know
that.
any cloud people.
You don't even okay. Whatchamacallit? I was gonna say, yeah, so when it comes down to it, AWS has been around longer than Azure. They have actually a bigger footprint in the cloud. I guess in cloud in general, speaking, just as far as like the customer base, as many customers as they have, and I think like Netflix, for example, is running on AWS and some other
Okay.
big networking components, a big cloud, big companies that are in the cloud. But Azure hasn't been around as long. I think I want to say AWS had like a 2 to 4 year head start on Azure, but
Okay.
I guess given that fact, Azure has actually made a large gain. I don't think AWS is still like the biggest cloud provider right now, but they've made such at this year over year. I think Azure has been gaining more customer base than AWS. I think at some point in the future, this is me just throwing it out there, but I think Azure may eclipse them. But it's who knows? I mean, I think having used both providers before using their systems, I'll say that Azure is, I think, easier to learn, or just from it's more what's the word I'm looking for? It's like user friendly, but it's also like the UI is actually more intuitive.
The GUI is more intuitive.
Yeah, it's more intuitive. AWS has a thing where they like to name things kind of funny. I'm trying to think of some of the examples, but they name something that's not really like descriptive. It just be like, oh, this is called like turtle shell, and then it'd be like a storage storage account for data and stuff like that. But Azure is a little bit more straightforward. You know exactly what the name is, kind of exactly what it describes, what it's actually used for. And then even the UI in itself is actually more enjoyable to look at. And I've had people that are like more centric to say like, yeah, Azure has a better GUI. You look at them side by side, you can tell which one's kind of like more like, I guess it's prettier, and I guess it's easier to navigate as well. Gotcha. So that's just my my opinion as well. But I do enjoy Azure, and I've used both of them. But AWS is actually, I think, bigger right now. But who knows what the future has in store? But it's nothing wrong with learning some AWS, and it's nothing wrong with being multi-cloud, like knowledgeable, I guess, experience. So you can be able to say, hey, I can do AWS, I can do Azure, I can do Google. I even considered myself getting some like AWS certifications, so I have like a breadth of like certifications as far as like not being centric to like Microsoft.
Right.
And Azure's actually they've actually developed some things. They're trying to be more hybrid, so that they have a lot of tools that are multi-cloud. You can actually configure them to interact with Google and Azure and IBM's cloud solutions, to kind of interlace. And I've noticed I don't think AWS and Google are as aren't jumping on that bandwagon as quickly as Microsoft with Azure. But I think it's a lot of companies, even DoD, they tend to like dip their toes in more than one provider. And I know DoD actually uses AWS as well as Azure, and I think they even use some Google stuff here and there. But it's good to know a little bit of everything. But if I had to choose one, I would personally choose Azure. But to each his own,
Gotcha.
And you can get like a free trial of either one.
You had me at easier. Like someone you said
yeah. I think and you can get a free trial from either one. You can actually try it out for yourself. I'd be interested if you do get a chance just to try them out. Just go like, I think all you have to do is put a credit card in there, but they don't charge anything. Just they try to use it as a like make sure that you are who you are or whatever. But put a credit card in there to give you like a free trial, and then it cancels after 30 days or whatever it is. You can try both cloud providers. I'd be curious to know if you do try them out one time, what you think about them. Not just from like a person that hasn't really used either one.
So
Yeah.
Ryan may not do that if he has to put his credit card number in there. If he
Right.
can't swipe his watch, like he ain't.
Oh, yeah,
That's
you can't
right.
tie my watch on
I
the
forgot
screen?
about that.
Yeah, like,
Like,
I can't tie the watch. I ain't gonna put no credit cards in there.
I
They
forgot
should
about
do
that.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. Like, why is there no NFC reader on my laptop? Like, why do I have to
Right.
type my information to Amazon? It would be safer, right? To
Yeah, it's
potentially,
true.
potentially it'd be
Yeah.
safer. Like,
Yeah,
oh, pat
like-
that. Like, hey, if you're listening, that's mine.
Right, right.
To me.
Yeah, that's kind of like an MFA right there. Like you have to have your device to like pay for the,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's something. Yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
I'm
I guess they don't. I guess they don't have that really. I mean, they have like UB keys and stuff for like. I guess you can have like that as a authentication piece, but I'm not sure about payment. They don't have like a
Right.
straight payment. Like, oh, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
buzz my watch.
Yeah, you always have to put your stuff in there, and then if you save it, that's a vulnerability as well. But what if, like the host, like your laptop was just your middleman? It just got your from your phone or your watch straight to it'd be like a point of sale system, kind of, because it's not air gap though. I don't know. I digress. All right. It's too much cyber in this rundown.
Right, too much cyber. I'm sorry.
Too much cyber in this rundown. We got to back it down a little bit.
Yeah.
So what else have y'all been doing that's non-work or cyber related?
Well, let me tell you real quick. I've been on I was on a hiatus last week. I apologize for my absence, by the way. And I was gone for the week, mostly because I was doing some training for work, as well as I took some time to visit moms, hang out with her for a little bit, and obviously on the airplane, it gives me a chance to watch some shows as well. I finished off the season of like Sex Education. I'll tell you guys about that the other week, which is pretty entertaining show. I think you guys might enjoy it. But what I think I really enjoyed, that I think even Shannon would probably enjoy, was it's number one in Netflix right now. It's called Squid Games. Oh, you seen it?
You seen it?
You don't even.
You seen it?
Yeah,
I
I've seen it.
haven't seen it. I saw the
Yeah.
trailer. My son is watching it right now. So like my oldest son is watching it. I haven't seen it, but like
Yeah.
it's funny is that there's this guy on Twitter. He does the I can't remember his name, but he does
What?
the anime stuff, the black guy that does the
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he
I
did
know what
one
you're
of the
about to say.
Squid Games that was hilarious to me. They were playing basketball.
Yeah.
Like,
I saw that one. Yep.
I was like, I have not seen this, but that is funny. Yeah. No, I looked at the trailer. I was just like, this
Oh,
is-
that's not your thing.
I
dang,
didn't even hear about it until yesterday. So the FOMO is real. Like the whole internet is like, oh, this Squid Game is off the chain. I think
Yeah.
IGN gave it a 10 out of 10.
Oh, damn. I didn't know that. Shoot, I really enjoyed it. I don't know.
I
I thought it'd be something Shannon might like, but he's shaking his head. So I'm
I don't even know the premise. All I know is that the world is watching, and I need to go get a piece of this.
Yeah. So essentially, oh, go ahead, Shannon. You about to say something?
I'm gonna wait for Ryan to watch it and see what he says. If he says it's good and it should be watched,
Then it's
I
bad.
know not to watch it. when we get to me, I'll tell you why. But go ahead on the stuff I watched. Go ahead, LeVon.
Yeah. And so real quick, it has an 8.3 on IMDb, which is known for being like pretty strict on their like rating criteria or
That's
whatever.
very high for IMDb.
That's very high for
Very
IMDb.
high for IMDb, yeah.
Okay.
But essentially, it's like so. Essentially, I won't get into too much how they got there, but these people are on this island, they're on this island, pretty much for the most part, kind of forced to play these games. And it's pretty much life or death games where you're playing like childhood games like red light, green light. And then if your car moving when you're supposed to be like red light, then something happens to you.
Okay.
And then
so it's a battle royale, basically.
Yeah, basically like a battle royale.
Okay.
Just like battle royale, maybe like even and what's the other battle royale? I was just thinking about it earlier too. Freaking the Hunger Games. That's the one I was thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like a Hunger
Boy
Games.
Scouts.
Yeah.
They did like
I heard the whistle. When you put your fingers up, I
like-
heard the whistle.
I forgot what they were saying when they did this. Like, I accept or something. Or I forgot what they were saying, but nonetheless, yeah. So it's kind of like
Volunteers Tribute.
volunteers tribute. That's what I was looking for.
Okay.
But it's kind of like that. It's kind of one of those, they start out with like almost 500 people, and they like we can start dwindling it down.
Oh, you
to
got
like,
me. You got me. Oh, you got me. That's my jam.
And it's number 1 in Netflix, and it's got.
Oh, that's
so
my
you
jam.
like that, Ryan? Huh?
That's
you
my
like what
jam.
you're hearing?
Like, rub my hands together like Birdman the meme. That's
right.
my jam right there.
Look,
Because I remember seeing the first Battle Royale as a kid. Like, I don't know if you guys saw it. Like,
Yeah,
the
I watched
original
that
Battle
too.
Royale.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
That's probably what started me on this path. Like that
Yeah.
movie
Right.
was so good to me as a child.
Right.
Just tragedy.
Yeah, because they do have to play against each other, and like it's kind of like it's cutthroat. Some of the games are like you work together. Other games are like,
Right.
hey, we got to knock out as many people as we can, and then people are forming little cliques,
Yeah.
and then people are trying to like somebody's in the background trying to like shut the whole operation down, kind of thing, and then some stuff happens, and then there's some twist in there that kind of shocked me, like, oh my god, what the hell?
How many episodes?
It's I think it's only like 8 or 9 episodes.
Oh, so what you telling me is I could get through most of it today?
Right.
That's what you're telling me.
Absolutely.
I like the marathon. Oh, I love the marathon. I'm about to get it in today.
Yeah.
After I produce these episodes, I'm gonna jump right on that. And I got to tread.
Yeah. I want Shannon to watch it so he can shake his head at it, like, I hate everything. But I think it's good. I think you potentially enjoy it, but it's really like thriller like. I mean, it's obviously keeps you on the edge of your seat a little bit as far as what's going to happen, like who's going to be dealt with, who's going to be killed, basically. With
the
game.
Get attached to characters and they get killed anyway.
Right. It's like, oh damn.
Everything you just said speaks to me.
Right.
Shannon shake his head. Everything you said speaks to me. Like that's my jam.
It didn't really appeal to me, and I even like my son was watching it, and I stopped by for a second, and I was just like, nah, I'm not missing anything. But I don't know, maybe I
hear the Battle Royale. I hear the Hunger Games. I hear the Game of Thrones. Oh,
right.
See, and here's the thing, right? So I've never seen Battle Royale. I only watched the first Hunger Games. What was the other one you just mentioned? I didn't watch that.
Oh, the Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. I watched the first 3 seasons and I was done. I watched up until the Red Wedding because I watched up until the Red Wedding.
That's when it really like picked up for me. Like the first season was really good. The second season was good, but the third season, I think that was Red Wedding, right?
Yep.
Because I didn't read the books, so like for me, that was like, oh my god, they broke bread,
right?
but here's the thing. By the time I was, because that was like the second to last episode of the 3rd season or something like that. I don't think they ended the 3rd season on that, but by that point, like they were already offing people so often. I was like, this is not new. Like Ned Stark bit it in like.
I was gonna say Ben Kingsley. Ben Kingsley got the business. I was just like, isn't this his story?
Look, man, I don't know. I only had the 3 seasons, and I've never had like, even when people around me at work talking about it, I was just like, nah, that ain't for me.
Well, I mean, at least you missed out on the finale. It was very disappointing. At least you missed out on that. Like you'll never have to experience the ending of the live action Game of Thrones. Like obviously the books would be different. Like hopefully the book would be better. I'm not a fantasy guy. I don't really do dragons and stuff like that. This is the first time I actually like enjoyed a fantasy show. I'm usually sci-fi beginning to end. So
see, but I don't mind the fantasy stuff. Like I don't mind. Was it Reign of Fire? What's the one with Matthew McConaughey? Were the dragon hunters?
Was it Reign of Fire? I think it was Reign of Fire.
I think that's the name of it. Like I like that. You know what I mean? Where
I didn't like it.
Where he went out hard. He was just like, gotcha. Yeah. Like I was like, okay. Like I didn't mind that one. It had some slow parts in it. I'll give you that. But like for the most part, yeah, dragons was just firing on everything, man. So I don't mind dragons. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know, man. Game of Thrones was just boobies and dragons. That's what they called it, man. Like,
right.
That's what they should have called it.
Boobies and dragons.
Yeah, like that's all it was.
You're not wrong.
I don't know. So yeah, I don't know.
Boobies and dragons.
That was the safe way of saying it. That was the safe.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, that's tame. That's rated PG version of what you could have said.
Yes. So I'm starting Squid Game tonight.
Right.
Or
And I sent y'all the
afternoon.
and I sent y'all the link to the video that Shannon was talking about. He's cracking up about with
Oh,
the
from
the
Ace.
black guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude's
he's on the basketball
hilarious.
court.
That dude's hilarious. He and the
Oh.
one that made me laugh the hardest, where it like made my stomach hurt, was when he did Doomsday. When Doomsday portaled in on the Justice League. If I could find it, I'll send it to you. Like it made me hurt. I was laughing so hard.
See, I've laughed at his other anime stuff that he does. So like I was
Right.
doing different characters and whatnot.
Yeah.
Man. Like I hadn't seen all of them, but I was like Naruto, I know that. Okay, Dragon Ball,
Yeah.
I know that. You know what I mean?
Right.
One Punch Man, like I'm okay, I got you. Like I
Yeah.
laughed at those. So like I didn't know. Like as I started, like I sent that one, and then someone sent me one back where he was doing one about about LeBron and how LeBron acted when he got new teammates and how he acted when he lost in the first round. If I find it, I sent it earlier. I texted it to some people. I'm gonna find it and send it to y'all. Like I was
Oh no,
wrong.
this is the other dude. Okay, this is I know you're talking about now. This dude is also hilarious. Yeah, because he did LeBron joint, and I always
Yeah,
do
yeah,
treat his teammates or whatever.
yeah.
So I know who this is. Yeah, this dude is hilarious. Somebody said he should play Bernie Mac if they do a live action like Bernie Mac,
I can see that.
like
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like tribute
Yeah.
or whatever. If they do a
Yeah.
Bernie Mac movie, they should put him on it. I was like, that's perfect actually.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so I mixed the two. I mixed the two dudes up. Like Ace does cartoons primarily.
Okay.
So like he does some hilarious stuff. He started during the quarantine. I'll pass you some videos, but I'm gonna watch that Squid Game one. Do I need to watch the show first or just watch the?
I haven't watched the show and I thought it was hilarious. Like,
Okay.
but I've seen the trailer, so I get the premise of the show and what they're doing.
Gotcha.
But like, it's just the way. Because it's kind of like Boondocks, right? Like it feeds in the stereotypes to where you're like,
Right.
oh man,
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, it's gonna be funny either way. I watched this after I had watched Squid Game, so like the music and everything, I was like, oh, this is like right. This is just like the Squid Game because they did a good job in making the characters too, like even the outfits they put on the little video. It's pretty accurate. And then like some of the games too, I guess, were like in the movie, or not movie, in the series was like some people had advantage, I suppose. Like some people kind of knew the game, or like they they were maybe more physically fit or more mentally sharp or something like that. So it kind of plays into the video and stuff. So
Okay.
yeah, so you can just watch the video and watch the series after. I don't think you lose much or miss anything.
All right. Yeah, I got no plans, man. I think I gotta grade a couple projects and then
Yeah.
produce the first episode, because I be tripping sometimes. I make sure I produce the weekly rundown because it takes the longest to get through the editor, and then I do the first one. And if I get to Tuesday and Wednesday, all on Sunday, that's amazing. But if I only get those two episodes, the first one and the last one,
Yeah.
I would just like, now I'm gonna play a video game.
That's right. Gonna enjoy yourself.
We'll get to Tuesday, Wednesday later. So yeah, that's definitely a plan. Squid Game. What else? What else did you consume or do this week?
Oh yeah. Let's see. I didn't really play many games at all, but I happened to see on Netflix. I think it might be one that you guys might like. It's called Till Death. It's got Megan Fox in it. I'm not like a huge Megan Fox fan, but this movie was pretty good. So basically, it starts out like, I don't want to give out too much info, but Megan Fox is having some issues with her husband, but her husband decided to take her to this retreat, like a kind of a secluded cabin, and then they have a good time, have a good night, and then she wakes up in the morning, and all of a sudden she's handcuffed to her husband, and then she's handcuffed to her husband, and then her husband like just kills himself right there, and she's still like handcuffed to him.
And this is new?
Yeah, I think it came out this year.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know she dropped a new movie. Okay. Because I haven't seen anything by you said, who is it? You said
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Megan Fox.
It might be a Netflix studio thing, maybe, if you haven't seen it.
When's the last time I seen a Megan Fox movie? I want to say
Transformers.
Or Jennifer's Body. That was not great. It was, if you like bad movies, You know what I mean? Like it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But it was not like if you really want to, it was not scary. It was just funny because how
Yeah.
bad it was not scary. But okay, I might check
Yeah.
that one out as well. I didn't know she was dropping new movies.
Right. Yeah. It's like yeah, I'm not like a huge fan of Megan Fox, but she does a good job in the movie. And it's the little summary says that a woman finds herself shackled to a dead spouse as part of a revenge plot. As the rest of the plan unfolds, a desperate battle for survival begins. So it's like I'm trying to think about. I can't really explain it without like revealing too much. Some crazy stuff happens, but she's pretty much dragging her husband through the house. Like she doesn't have the keys for it, and her husband got rid of every tool in the house that can, cut open handcuffs or anything like that, and kind of like hacksaw or like any kind of like device to even like detach herself from her husband. And then some other stuff starts spiraling into the movie. And it's kind of crazy. Like I remember I watched it with my mom actually. My last trip to hang out with her, and she was like, "Oh my God, what the hell's happening?" She's like on the edge of her seat too, watching it.
Right.
It's a thriller type movie. It's kind of movies I like. I like this kind of like, know what's gonna happen, and people trying to survive, and all of a sudden, somebody's chasing you down, trying to get you or whatever. But it's a good one. I think you might like it, Shannon. I know you're giving me that face right now, but I think you might enjoy it. But I know you're pretty selective, pretty picky. I don't know sometimes what to even recommend to you.
Yeah,
I'm afraid to like.
she's just a terrible actress. Like
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't know, man. I don't know. She's just
Maybe this is the role. Maybe
this might be the one. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like Gerald's Game a little bit.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was like 3-4 years ago, and she wasn't no better than she was in Transformers. So,
yeah, the first one she didn't do a bad job, right? There was two of them, right?
There was.
The second one was just everybody was acting horrible.
Right.
Yeah. Once you got past the turtles having lips, that was weird. But it sounds like Gerald's Game, like that Stephen King.
Yes.
But they turned into a movie. It sounds similar to that.
I
don't know if you saw that one, Shannon.
Nope, not a Stephen King fan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that, but it's different, but it does remind me of that movie, Gerald's Game.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out. Anything else?
But yeah, I think that wraps it up for me for the most part. That's like the main things I watched over the last couple weeks here.
Okay.
But what about you guys?
We'll talk about Venom. I was gonna say we'll talk about Venom. I want to wait though.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, I didn't touch that, but yeah.
So let me jump in here then. So based off your 80s pick last week, right? And you brought up Blade Runner.
I picked up 4 other movies as well that were good.
I got you. I didn't like the 5th one, but I had never seen Blade Runner, and I actually had Blade Runner 2049 in my list on HBO Max. I think I had it on. Yeah, it was on HBO Max.
Hopefully, I didn't discourage you from watching it.
So
it is good as well.
I watched the first Blade Runner and I was not impressed. Now, apparently, so I had to read up on this. So the one that was on HBO Max was called The Final Cut. So they've done like 5 different versions of this movie. So like the ending's different. There's some scenes in it that are not in some. So I watched The Final Cut, which was the latest from 2007 or something. They added a different scene in there. So or the ending is different. So the way that this one ended was he went to go get Rachel. So when he went to get her at the end after Batty dies, or whatever the guy's name was, Roy, after Roy dies, he goes to leave and there's the little unicorn.
Oh, that one is the different one. Yeah.
So I was reading up on the other endings, and there's one ending where they're in like a cabin together or something like that. They show them living their life. There's another one. He does go off with her, but they don't show the unicorn thing that Gaff left there. But neither here nor there. I don't think I would have liked any of them. Like I was falling asleep watching this movie. I was like, can we not move this along? So I was like, okay.
It is a very slow burn. It is
very slow burn. Like it never got fast for me. I was like, but I'm invested now. So let me see. Let me watch 2049, right? I watched Blade Runner 2049. This is 2 hours and 43 minutes I could have done without. I was just like,
you didn't like 49 either?
I didn't like 2049 either.
Uh,
Same thing. It's so slow. Like it had its moments, you know what I mean?
right.
But like I mean, that movie's been out for years now, so I'll talk about it, whatever. But like I thought he was the kid too. Like as they were going through and doing stuff
Right.
and whatnot, I didn't pick up on it.
Right.
He wasn't. And I was
Yeah,
like,
it
oh,
was a good
okay.
twist.
That was
Yeah,
a good
I
twist.
like the twist. I did
I'll
like the
give
twist.
you that. That was a good twist. But then I was just like, why is this going so slow? And like Jared Leto with the eyes and the chrome shoes,
Right,
just
right.
like, man, come on, man. Like 2 hours and 43 minutes. That was the runtime on that. And I was like,
Right.
could have gotten rid of some. I think I would have liked it more if it would not have wasted some of my time. You know what I mean? Because
Gotcha.
like, it got to points where I was just looking up stuff on my phone with it still playing in the background. I just up every so often. I was like,
The disrespect.
Disrespect. How dare
Without
you.
Blade Runner, there would be no Matrix. There would be
Mm.
no
I disagree.
Ghost in the Shell. There would be no
I disagree.
like literally they're all pieces of Blade Runner. Like I think the Necromancer is the first
From
sci-fi
Riddick?
book.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
No. Like so all of them are based on Necromancer, right? So the is it Necromancer? Like
Necromancers are from Riddick, right? That's what.
yeah, that's a character or whatever. But hold on, I'll be right back. Talk some stuff.
Yeah, it's necromancers are like a race of people. I thought from Riddick, so I don't know.
I said it wrong. Neuromancer. So Neuromancer, right? So this book is kind of what kicked off like that whole vibe.
Okay.
So I'm getting through it now because I didn't read this as a child. So I'm getting through it now, but there's a lot of the Matrix. There's a lot of the Ghost in the Shell. There's a lot of Blade Runner in there. There's a lot of what made those things, and then Blade Runner was the first live action that pushed the genre the way it did. So you just hate classics, like you
Right.
you just hate. I get it. It's very slow though. Like when he's doing the interrogation on Rachel, that is very slow and painful. Like when he's trying to discern if she's human or not. Yeah, that one it's kind of rough, but I don't know. It's got a vibe that made the Total Recall a thing. You know what I mean? Like all those are pieces of that story.
Total Recall was good though. Like I don't.
Yeah, they took their energy and elements and made their movies out of it.
I would have to read that book to see that. Like I refuse to believe it.
It's very slow. Like this book is very slow. I started reading on a plane. I didn't finish it. But you get a lot of those threads where you're like, oh, okay, I see how the Matrix was thought of.
See, man, you were on your way back up again with Radius, and then you went back to Pi.
Crashed and burned.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. It was not for me. But I find myself saying that about a lot of the classics out there, right? Like a lot of people are so nostalgic for Doom coming out now. You know, they're just like, oh, Doom.
Right. And I missed that whole thing as a child. I missed Doom entirely. So I'm hoping for greatness.
I did not watch all of Doom as a child. Like it didn't really interest me, but even the trailers for the new one that's coming out, I'm kind of like, not for me. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't I don't want to say I'm being different just to be different. It just does not interest me.
You want to see Jason Momoa fight with no shirt on?
That's
right. I've seen Aquaman. I'm good. Yeah.
You got Jason Momoa, you got Batista, Zendaya, like just people with first names. They don't have last names.
Yeah, that's true.
You got all them peoples. Yeah. I know nothing. I know nothing of the lore or whatever. But I've heard I missed a great saga or what have you. But I didn't read no books. I didn't watch no movies. None of it. The game. I didn't play the game.
Yeah. But that was pretty much what I watched this week. I finished up the Carmichael show. Okay, it was funny. But yeah, I didn't video games, couple games of Madden, nothing serious. But yeah, for the most part, that's kind of been it.
Gotcha. Okay, I mean that's good.
Oh,
Like,
and what if, always what if?
oh yeah. We gotta talk about what if.
Yeah.
This is the half of the mid-season finale or whatever they want to call it.
I
I don't
don't
even know
know.
anymore because they keep lying to me.
Yeah. I
I
think
don't
they're
know.
only I think they're only having 10 episodes, and this was episode 8. So based off this one, I think there's going to be a gathering and then there's going to be a fight. Is what I'm
Okay.
thinking.
Okay. Because the thing I read said it was half of the finale. But if you say 10 episodes, that was episode 8. I don't know. But yeah, just keep them coming.
It may only be 9 then, but I don't believe IMDb anymore either, right? Like
Yeah, because all the episodes are out of order and what have
Yeah.
you. The only thing that's consistent is Iron Man's fate.
It really is. It really is.
I think I like someone said that what happened to him is an absolute point. And that's why in every single story he has to have the same fate. Which may be true. It may be true. It may be an absolute point. But yeah, so we can talk about that as well. But before I get to what I been doing all week, I want to get the yay or nay off of Venom. So is it thumbs up, thumbs down from you, LeVon? Where was Venom 2 at for you?
I enjoyed it. I'll give it a thumbs up. It was like I'd say it's like not like a phenomenal movie by any means, but it's just like it was entertaining. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the post credit scene that you mentioned before too. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. So I would be in agreement with you. What hampered it on our side was the theater sound is just not great for low speech. So like Venom talks in this tone the entire movie, which there's no subtitles, right? So we couldn't always hear what he was saying. Like the funny quips he would throw in there, couldn't really hear him. It was the same thing when it came to that Time movie with Denzel's son, Tenet. Like I was like, what are they saying? I can't understand what they're saying.
Right.
So it's something going on with the theater. Like they just don't produce low tones very well, and that was his entire speech in the movie. So a lot of people walked out. Like a lot of my coworkers were like, "Oh, it's terrible. Couldn't hear what he was saying." I was like, "Well, that's not the movie's fault."
Yeah. Damn, that's messed up.
The theater sound, it wasn't all that great, but I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Like it, and it's a shame that you couldn't hear all the quips because I think that's probably part of the that's some of the best parts of the movies, like hearing Venom and interact with Brock, but I think they did a good job. I think what's his name? Is it Woody Harrison?
Yes, Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson. Yeah, I think he did a good job in his role. He's very like he played to the character pretty well. I thought some of the acting and particularly like the beginning scene, kind of like I felt like it was like that's kind of they didn't really deliver that. I didn't believe that like scene right there, but because it showed like the origin of Woody Harrison's character and his girl and all that. But I thought overall it's an entertaining movie. It's more. I don't think Shannon probably wouldn't like it because I don't think it's as much action in it as maybe I was expecting. I don't know.
You just reminded me. I did watch the first one today actually, and it was kind of forgettable. Like I watched it. I already forgot I had watched it. I watched the first Venom. And like it's funny because like I don't know if you remember the first one or not, but like that Raggedy Ann wig that Woody Harrelson was wearing at the end of the first one, I was like, what is up with this? Like, because it's not what he's wearing in the trailer for the new
No. And he talks about that. Like a reporter asked him about that, and he was like, yeah, that was like a last minute thing to film. He was like, no, it was terrible wig.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
I watched that today and it was forgettable for me. Tom Hardy has done better. I don't know why he was kind of the way he was.
He enjoys it for some reason. Like, because I thought he acted better in the first one than the second one, but he is all about getting a third one. He's like, I'm invested in the character. I want to do it again. Because he is both, Brock and Venom. He does the voice for both of them. But yeah, it's
okay.
Yeah, that's him. That's him doing the voice for Venom as well. His acting in it wasn't all that spectacular because when you think of a Tom Hardy movie, like he has like a repertoire, like he has some bangers. I mean, he played a twin of himself in that one movie. It was great. Like, remember the one where he's a mobster in the UK? I forget what it's called. It was on Amazon Prime. It is good.
Oh, it's the TV series.
That was a movie.
Was it a movie?
Yeah, it's a movie.
No,
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's a movie. I'll look it up when somebody else starts talking. But he played two distinctly different characters that and they
Oh,
well.
the one where they were in the bar scene. The one guy walks out and then comes back in again.
Yeah,
In the pub. I saw that scene. But I don't remember the movie. I was like, oh man,
that movie is good. It's like gritty, like UK gangster type film, and he plays two.
Legend? Is it Legend?
Yes. Yep,
Okay.
Legend, and he plays two distinctly different characters that interact with each other so well. I was very impressive of his acting talent. But yeah, it's not so. But I didn't go there to see that. I went there to see like carnage, right? Like the destruction, Venom tearing things up, all that good stuff, anti-hero type stuff, and some comedy, and it delivers. It delivers. It's obviously not MCU caliber, but it's the Sony Spider-Man verse to a certain extent. So there's implications. I would definitely say stick around for the post-credit scene. I don't want to spoil it. But it even has some stuff that we're not used to seeing in the MCU right now happening with like the girlfriend that LeVon alluded to. We were like, oh yeah, that was something that used to be in comics, right?
Right.
MCU kind of retconned. So,
and I have to look in. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to say I have to look into the. I'm sure there's some like something Easter egg that I'm not aware of. I know you saw the part with the cop that was hanging from the thing,
right?
And is something happened to his eyes, and I was like, huh, what does that mean? Like, is he some sort of? I don't know if you already know something about that, but I was like,
no,
huh.
I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, that did surprise me. I was going to look into it, but no, there's a scene that stood out to me where it's after they tear up one of the facilities. If you look on the ground, there's two X's that look like wheelchair wheels.
Oh,
like
Xavier.
else. Yeah, it looked like Xavier's wheelchair. I was like,
yeah, I didn't notice that.
That's weird. But it has like it's gonna go somewhere. Like, I'm interested to see what is it? Jared Leto's movie coming out where he's a bad guy. Is it he's like a vampire? I forget what his character's name is.
Oh, it's it's the name of the character. It's Morbius. Morbius.
Yeah, Morbius. I'm interested to see that now because now they're starting to tie in a lot of the Sinister Six. They're starting to bring them together, and now with the Tom Hardy or not Tom Hardy, the Tom Holland Spider-Man will have to drop shows characters from the Sinister Six in that trailer. So there's some cool stuff up ahead. So I would say give it a shot. I wouldn't go out your way to see it. Like maybe wait till it comes home to see it. But I thought it was worth a watch. Just on the post-credit scene alone, which is only like 30 seconds.
yeah. Nothing crazy. I thought it was a good movie. It's like I said, it was like you're saying, it wasn't like some phenomenal, like, nothing you're gonna break your neck to go see or go out your way to drive to go see. Wait for it to come out on video, whatever, come out on Netflix or something, or HBO Max.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was pretty good. But then the other thing is, so the what if, I wanted to talk about that real quick before I went down the rabbit hole my week. So what if we thought a lot of these were standalone episodes, so now we're starting to see some things coming to pass. So I would definitely suggest, if you have not watched episode 8, definitely watch episode 8. I say now you have an excuse to watch all of them. Watch all the episodes because you're gonna see some things and you're like, oh. But my favorite part was I can't really talk about it, I guess, because I want to spoil it. But
I was gonna say
people were laying hands on each other.
Yeah.
Like we got to see some Dragon Ball Z-esque fights take place.
their fight scenes have always been great in What If. Like, no
Yeah.
matter what you think about the episode, like the fights, because like even with the Party Thor one, right? Like, I wasn't too thrilled with that one, but the fight that he had, I was just like, man.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Captain Marvel was getting it in.
Yeah, yeah. So
Um,
it's if it is as you say, it's half of the finale. I could see the next episode being okay. This is where I would like them to probably go back and start gathering some people and then
right.
maybe doing
So
some stuff.
I,
But
I think that's what's going to come to pass. So I don't think it's a spoiler if you watch it. There's a bunch of like each one is a different
multiverse.
yeah, the different part of the multiverse, right? And then when they end, they kind of end on cliffhangers. You're just like, oh well, that was interesting. But now we're starting to see that everything is connected, like the old slogan that they had back in the day with Agents of Shield. Like everything is connected. So I think that's pretty cool, and it probably will have implications on the live action MCU stuff. But my theory is, what if gives Marvel a chance to do printed, like, so it gives them a chance to separate themselves from the print and from the live action, right? So they all intertwine, they all have far-reaching implications. But I think whatever Avengers they assemble for What If will be different, and that is, I like that. Like, because you had stuff that happened in comics that's like gospel, right? People don't want to tarnish the comics. And you got stuff that happens in live action, which now there's the MCU is it's obviously based upon printed material, but it's its own thing now. Like you have a decade worth of material there now. So like some of that canon cannot be retconned, it cannot be changed. This gives them a chance to like, okay, what if the Avengers we assemble are just different? So instead of Captain America, we have,
Captain Carter.
yeah, Captain Carter. Instead of T'Challa being Black Panther, like maybe he's somebody else and what have you. So I think it makes it's fun. Like I actually really enjoy this, like because they're not beholden to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And they can still have implications because it's the multiverse, right? Now they have excuses to have wrinkles in the canon because okay, this is just different, and I like it. So I think they're doing a great job. And they bring back the people, like the same voice actors, and for most part,
for
right,
a good 90% of it,
are the same voices, but they get to do different things. So I like it.
I agree with you. Like I and for the same reason, right? Like you can be very creative in what you do now, especially when it's animated, right? Because you only got to get them in the booth to speak these things for 35 minutes or however long those episodes are. But I think they were going this direction anyway with the live action, with the Doctor Strange movie coming up anyway, the Multitude of Madness or Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, they were going that direction anyway. It looked like, you know what I mean, in the live action stuff, and Loki kind of made it to where you were going to do that anyway. The ending of Loki made it to where it's like, okay, we can go in and start playing now and start doing all these things. You know what I mean? Because guys have allowed for the multiverse to become a thing, right? Because it wasn't a multiverse until they went to that last episode, right? Like everything was in check with the one ring until they got there to the end. So now you got stuff going on everywhere. So they were already headed down that road.
Yeah, and they can let people out of their contracts now. Like if you're tired of, if you're tired of your aging out of a role, now you can be relieved of it and still have a lasting impact in the MCU, right? Because it did happen. It just didn't happen in this reality.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool. Like I like it. I'm sure there's somebody out there screaming like that's not the way it's supposed to happen, but it's a cartoon. Enjoy it. let it be different. And it's not even it's different on purpose is what I like about it too. Like the way that scene happened between Black Widow and Hawkeye. Like they were like, no, listen, we're gonna do what you saw before. We're gonna do it differently. Yeah. He's like, oh, okay, I like it. And that's the way it should have ended in the movie, in my opinion. But then we wouldn't get the Die Hard version of Hawkeye.
I was saying, then you wouldn't get
which I'm actually excited about. Like I've never been like I like the actor. I think he does a phenomenal job, but it's just like he shoots arrows really well. You know what I mean? But I think Hawkeye is going to be like something I'm going to be like, okay, I'm glad I stuck around and kept up with the character because it actually looks pretty promising.
But he doesn't
Yeah.
just shoot arrows though, because he can golf and then he'll play 18 and shoot 18, right? That's what he said.
Mhm.
I thought you were retired. Well, I played 18 holes. I shot 18. I'm like, okay, it's kind of unbelievable, but okay.
Right. It's the what's we call it, man. It's the tiers, right? Like, so we talked about this. Like, you have like, if it was Dragon Ball Z, he would be Yamcha. You know what I mean? Like, he's not a Saiyan. But he's a funny character, and he does help out. Like, every teach their own. Like, if you watch Shang-Chi, there's a character in there that is not on Avenger level, but that person, because I can't say gender because that will give it away. That person does something that helps out the whole team. So that's what Hawkeye is.
Yeah.
He is not a Thor or a Hulk, but he does help out the whole team.
Wow.
I said it.
So he practices in regular gravity. It's not 300 times gravity, right?
No, man, it would break him. He's not down for that. It would break him.
Oh man.
But I saw, so the last thing about the what if, I saw on the internet people are upset about a 1 second fight that took place.
Yeah, it was
I was
no
just like,
problem. It was
that's
interesting.
hilarious.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Like, we talked about that at work, and I was just like, wow, that easy, huh? Okay.
Yeah, that easy. That easy. Like, the internet is like, no, that's lazy writing, yada yada. I'm like, no, man, just have fun with it. It's a cartoon. All right. You get serious about the live action, I guess. Even though it's all fake, right?
So
But
we talked about it at work, and we were like, why wasn't it like that in the movies? And it's like, well, this person was already at a disadvantage. So if you think about it, at that point in the movie, that person was already at a disadvantage. They weren't full strength. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
right.
it's
And as well as the worst antagonist is very focused. Like, he was like he was not the same character that we know of. You know what I mean?
no.
I thought it was pretty cool. But when can we spoil this? Like, how many weeks do we have to give?
I don't know, man. Like I mean, it's only
talk
been
around
three-
it.
It's
Gotta
only
talk
been
around
three-
it.
It's only been 3 days, but like I don't know. We gotta bring it up again. I don't know. Maybe just put spoiler on the title and be like, hey, it's what it is. Watch at
Right.
your own risk. But I don't know if you want to deter people either, right? So
Right, exactly. I'll give it a couple more weeks and we can talk about it. Hopefully, so probably when the finale. So when the finales, we'll give it like a week or so, and then we'll talk about everything. But definitely worth watching. Like, they did a really good job. I'm really enjoying What If, and I was just going to watch it after it was all over. Like, remember, I was like, I'm just going to marathon all of the Marvel stuff after everything finishes. But now they can keep my $7, I guess. I can't cut it off now. They keep bringing that heat, so I got to keep it up. So for my week, I watched What If. I watched Venom a couple of days ago. I played 12 minutes. I did not finish it. However, it's because I'm being stubborn. So I finally decided to look at a guide. Because I'm like, it's only 12 minutes. I can figure out every permutation to get me to where I need to get. But I spent forever in one loop, doing it over and over and over again, not getting a result. So basically, for Shannon and for the audience, like, it's a 12-minute loop. It kicks off with you coming home, and then there's a knock on the door, and you're in the home with your wife, and your wife's being accused of doing something nefarious. The cop may not be a cop. It's voiced by William Dafoe, so you can make that decision up to yourself right now. He's a bad guy.
Right.
And if you fail at the loop, so if your wife is harmed or you're harmed, or you try to leave the room, it restarts the loop as well. So whatever you have to figure out what you need to do in that 12 minutes. And there's different items in the room, and there's different combinations. Like, your wife will try to answer the door, and you can either try to convince her to not answer the door, which takes a very long time, and usually fails, or you can give her some sleeping pills and knock her out so she can't answer the door, so you get more information.
Right.
There was one, like, my part that I was stuck on was, there is a part of the loop where you cannot interact with your wife or the cop, and then you can see how that unfolds. And it's very you get attached to a character, so it's a little uncomfortable what happens to her, but then it gives you a key piece of knowledge that you can then use to progress the loop. So after you see what happens to her, it allows you to know where an item is at that you could just not get out of her verbally, but she gives it up due to the circumstances. And then you reset the loop, and now you know where that item's at, and you can progress. Like now you can have a different conversation with her. Like, no, I already have this item. I already know it exists. Yada yada yada. You learn phone numbers, like because I got the phone off the cop. I got his phone off of him, so you learn some key information about the cop as well as some phone numbers you can call to try to get him to not come in and beat you down. So it's crazy what you can do in that 12 minutes. I have not defeated it though. That will probably be today. Today I'll probably progress the loop enough to finish it. But they got a lot out of me. I would say they got a few hours out of me in that 12 minutes. So it's pretty cool.
I was gonna say I was actually kind of surprised you didn't finish it. It sounds like you did most of everything that you need to kind of.
I didn't let that one thing happen, so I never knew where that item was at. Because you know what I mean, like I was listening to a guy because he said he felt uncomfortable playing the game because of the abuse that your wife could go through, your character wife could go through in it. And I guess I felt the same way about a character. I don't really know, only because I didn't, like, by not interacting, you know the fate of what's going to happen, but I didn't know that was going to give me information. So I just never let that happen. Like I always, either he would harm me or I would initiate the fight and cause the loop to restart. I just never let him, beat my wife up. So
right.
And then you have to get key information. So I put it out there. So now you know something. You just don't know how to do it. There's a way though. There's a way you can dip out without either one of them knowing you're there, and that gives you more information. So it's pretty creative to be such a mechanically simple game. It actually is pretty fun with the puzzle elements. Aside from that, I played the Halo beta, which I did not give enough attention to this weekend. I played it last weekend, and now I'm playing this weekend. But this weekend, I got caught up in 12 minutes. But it's Halo. It's Halo, but faster. Time to death is much quicker in this Halo. Like usually Halo is a lot slower and methodical, but you can kill or be killed much faster. But it's still Halo mechanics. It still feels like Halo, just a little bit quicker, which good or bad. Like for me, it's bad. I die much faster. I don't have a chance to save myself, I should say. Because old Halo, you had a chance to turn a fight around. You could even win a good 2v1 or even a 3v1. In this one, if they double up on you, like I've never been able to turn the tide of battle. But I'm also older and slower, right? So my reflexes aren't as quick as they used to be.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah. And so I mean, yeah. So like when I play against the bots, I'm murdering the bots. Like it's not a contest. We're going 50-2. I'm mad that they got 2 on me. But when I go play against people, it's not going so hot. Like every now and then I'll get like a double or triple kill, but for the most part, I'm going negative on my kill to death ratio, KDR. So that part's a little saddening. I don't have those Halo skills no more. But also, I have not played Halo. I have not practiced the ways of Halo in 5 years. So people have been playing, and I have not. So I'm gonna, because it's gonna be free, right? I'm probably going to download it and start playing it on weekends and stuff like that, just as a way to unwind and maybe get my skill back up, but I doubt it.
Did you see that new the limited edition Xbox Halo edition, whatever?
I did. Well, not in real life, because I've never seen a Series X in real life.
Right.
I don't think they exist.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did see it, and I was like, oh, I want that one.
Yeah, that look nice.
Well, yeah, I want anyone. Well, I also have to upgrade my TV, right? So I'm waiting for the perfect TV to come to the store here. And then once I get the TV, I'll start seeking out the Series X. So maybe by Black Friday or Christmas or something like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But mostly been playing those 2 games. I downloaded Neo and the Handsome Jack collection on my PS4, but I haven't played those yet. And I put Hades down for a little bit, just so I
Yeah,
can diversify.
Yeah, yeah.
I was playing the mess out of Hades for a long time, so I put it down for a little bit. But I'll probably pick it back up. I got a few other. I downloaded a bunch of Switch games before I got out here. So like Sayonara Wild Hearts, and a few others I've never even booted up. They're just sitting on the drive, waiting to go.
Right.
Trying to think what else did I do. It's pretty much it. Because I've been, jobbing and out, and now I'm about to get this Squid Game on. Now I know.
Yeah,
I know it's
yeah.
for me. I
Yeah.
know it's for me. I gotta get my Squid Game on. I might watch this Mega Fox movie later.
Yeah.
But if the Squid Game, if it's got me, I'm just gonna marathon it. I'm just gonna keep it going.
Yeah, you probably get hooked. I think they do a good job. I actually like a lot of Korean movies. I think Koreans, some of the Korean directors do a great job with their films. They're pretty like engaging. But I'm 99% sure that you like it. I think Shannon, I'm like, now question. I thought Shannon would be more into it, but now I don't even know anymore. I don't even know if I know myself anymore.
I don't know, man. Like, the Korean movies are okay. Like, I took your suggestion for Man from Nowhere, and like it was too slow for me, man.
Yeah,
like,
still
the
too
fight
slow,
scenes were good when they happened. Like when they happen, I'm like, oh, that's off the chain. But I'm like, why? I'm only getting 3 fight scenes in 2 hours. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, hey, I need you to start whooping butt all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, laying people down all the time.
Yeah, because I like because that's the thing with that one. I like the action, but I also really like the story too. I just thought it was like I don't know, well put together. Just his background with his family and losing his daughter and all this kind of stuff and all that kind of stuff that happened. But no, I appreciate, I respect you. You have your own taste in things. You want action. You don't need any story. You don't need any background, no character development. I just want people fighting for no damn reason.
Yes,
and killing
no
each
damn
other.
reason.
Then you turn around and somebody else that need to kill. Like, hey, I need to kill you too.
Yep, I'm all for that.
I don't know who you are, but I need to kill you.
You need to die.
Oh, I completely forgot about the generational thing. I'm sorry. Like I could have cut off a lot of what I was talking about and went to that. So y'all gotta rein me in. Like I got nothing but time and space here. All right, I'm the watcher from What If.
That's right.
I got nothing but time. So real quick, we'll jump into it. So we've been going over console generations. So last week was the third generation. So this week, talk about the fourth generation. So the fourth generation was from 1987 to 2004. So there's some overlap there. It includes your NSC TurboGrafx 16. So TurboGrafx 16. Sega Genesis, your SNK Neo Geo, which my cousin had one of those, and your Super Nintendo Entertainment System, SNES or SNES, as you're from overseas and weird like that. So we all started pretty much third generation because we're all in the same age group. So the fourth generation, I was a Genesis kid. I had to pick between the two. Like, it's not like nowadays where I can just buy consoles when I want and when they're available. I feel like a kid again. Like I can't get what I want. I got money now. But yeah, so I went Genesis because I had to pick between the two, and I enjoyed it. I'll get into a little bit more detail of what really kicked it into high gear for me. But where were you guys at? Which systems did you get during that generation?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I'm the only Super Nintendo person here. I guess I think I was the only person that I didn't really get into Sega much. I had some friends that had Segas, and I played theirs whenever I came over. I had a relative that had one too. Played some Sonic, but besides that, I was definitely big into the Super Nintendo. I thought the Super Nintendo was where it's at. And also that had I remember Super Mario World. I think it actually came with the game. I came with the console at the time, and I was like a pretty. I
wanted that game so bad. That was the game I wanted.
Yeah, because it was a really good game. Like it's like it's one of those. It's on the list somewhere like top 100 games ever released type thing. Because at the time it was a big deal, especially compared to like Super Mario Brothers, Mario Brothers 2. Mario Brothers 3. Then you went to like Super Mario World, and that thing, like the graphics compared and like the whole like, being able to hop on Yoshi, being able to fly around with your cape and all this kind of stuff, it became like a whole nother level of Mario. There was a big turning point for the series, but yeah, Super Nintendo was where it's at for me. And I remember Super Punch Out. I remember playing like Donkey Kong Country. Man, there was so many games that they had a Super Scope. I remember when the Super Scope came out, Super Scope 6, I think. They had some games on there. That was kind of like a big deal for me too. I played some. I remember playing some mech game. You had to like shoot the mech. They would shoot back at you, and you had to like, I don't know, you had to fire back and launch your missiles and stuff like that from your Super Scope. And
is that the thing that was like a bazooka?
Yeah, it's like a bazooka. You actually put it like on your shoulder.
That.
Yeah, you actually like hold it like this kind of thing.
I do remember something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it had Star Fox and a bunch of games, man. I think they're like endless. I could just rattle off a whole bunch of games. But yeah, the Super Nintendo was where it's at for me. But I appreciate the Genesis. I mean, I know we talked about it. Obviously, we're not going to talk about it now. But Dreamcast was like a big console for me, and that was a obviously Sega made system. But Genesis, I just didn't get into it. I just didn't have the didn't have like you mentioned. I didn't have the money. I was focused on Super Nintendo. Maybe if I could take myself as I am now back then, I might just grab both consoles and just played both games, both systems at the time. Yeah. But back then I was, I didn't have that much money. I can't remember how I got the Super Nintendo. I don't know if I paid for it, my mom paid for it, or if I got it for like a Christmas gift or something, or saved up some of my allowance money, got it or something. But somehow I acquired it. But
nice.
Yeah, that was my system. And I remember there's some old story that I think Nintendo and PlayStation were supposed to like make a console together. Yeah. And I don't remember if it was supposed to be.
Yeah, it was going to be a CD-based Nintendo system. They were doing a collaboration, and it fell through on Nintendo's side. Nintendo was like, nah. Cartridges is where it's at.
Right.
And that was like they were. It's always been rumored to exist, and they always had bad blood after the separation. Like if it hadn't been for that, there'd be no PlayStation. Like they because they were going to collabo. They were going to be the CD drive that was going to be in the Nintendo system.
Right.
But so one was discovered 3 or 4 years ago. It was in a guy's attic. One of the he was like a sales manager or marketing manager, something like that. It was in a box in his attic. So now it's in a museum. It did not go like you would think it would have been like sold to like the gray market.
Right.
But it went to a museum, and it actually does play games. Like somebody was actually able to get a game to play on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did exist. It was a real thing.
Wow.
But the reason that they wanted cartridges over CDs is CD read speeds were way too slow. So they were like, cartridges are almost instant. We're going to stick with cartridges. So yeah, that's why you had the N64 versus the PS1. Was it the same generation, PS1?
Yeah.
But I remember obviously CD won out because of well, it did in a way. So it did during those upcoming generations because they fixed the read speeds and what have you. Like there would be no Final Fantasy 7 if it was a cartridge based. It'd be like 10 cartridges, right? But now we're headed back towards cartridge. So it's kind of weird. Like the Switch is a cartridge based system. It's pretty fast. It's faster than any CD would be able to read. It was about storage, right? Storage versus speed versus the median shifted.
It's more expensive to put on a cartridge.
Right.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and cartridges are just more expensive in general. Like I remember Nintendo was charging like a grip for the blank N64 carts to put games on them. So like if you were a developer and you wanted to make a Nintendo game, you had to pay a premium to get the cartridge because they were so expensive. Versus a CD costs nothing.
But Nintendo is the only one that's doing the cartridges now, though, right? Like there's no other gaming companies out there doing cartridges, right?
No. But memory is changing, right? So they're getting away from CD-based systems and they're going towards SSDs and what have you.
Right.
Out of read speed alone and piracy, right? So it's not a cartridge but the similarities are there. Like it's non-mechanical storage versus reading off a CD, because CD read speeds are still too slow. So a lot of pieces of games are stored to your hard drive versus being on the CD, right? So when you go to play a game, usually it asks you to install a piece of it, just because the read speed's just not there, and it never will be. You just can't read things into a game as fast as people can interact with them. So a lot of stuff is put to your hard drive regardless. And SSDs are just going to help make that a thing, right? But again, now you're going back into space versus price. So like the one in the PS5 is only like 860 gigs or something like that.
825, I think.
Something small.
Yeah.
But again, it's so much faster than if they were reading off a CD. And then you have Nintendo is just like, we're just gonna go back to carts. So the Switch is a cart-based system. It's just faster. But it has its limitations and what have you. But I digress. I went far right on that one. So going back, what games did you play during that generation, Shannon?
So Sega was kind of where. So I did have a Sega, but I didn't play too many games there. That was kind of to the point where I was like really going outside more, not really staying in. And we didn't have a lot of money, right? So I wasn't getting a lot of games anyway.
Right.
But I mean, Sonic was what I think it came with it, right? Was the Sonic game, right? It came with Genesis. I remember.
I think Sonic 2. Was it Sonic 2 that came with it, or it was a Sonic? I can't remember. I think it was Sonic. Like I
Sonic the Hedgehog. I thought
it was back in the day when you go to Rent-A-Center. Rent-A-Center was renting them out, so I would go there and play the game at Rent-A-Center.
But no, Sonic the Hedgehog. There was a fighting one that I remember playing on Genesis too. That I can't remember what the name of it was. It had like Blade in it and like some type of like Aquaman type character.
It was like Streets of Rage or something like that.
No, it wasn't Streets of Rage.
It was a fighter. As a fighter,
I think it was that. Yeah,
because I can't remember, because I remember Street Fighter, obviously, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
it's not one of the like beat 'em up type games when you're walking around like in the streets and you.
No, it was a 2-player, more like Mortal Kombat.
Like
type.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I'm
fairly certain it was. Man, I don't know. It'll. I'm looking it up now, but it'll probably come to me to where I'm.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was. No, that's not it. Anyway, but yeah, I did a few things on there, but it was not. What else did I play on there? Sonic. It was that fighting game. I can't really remember too much else. Oh, I did like boxing games on there. Like Evander Holyfield had a game on there. I did Evander Holyfield's boxing game. It was like, I think back on it now and I'm like, man, I would never play that now. Like, terrible. You know what I mean? Like you would just keep punching somebody in the face and all of a sudden you just hear, stop the fight. Like whenever, and then it just stopped and they floated there for a little while. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I didn't play too many games on it because it was just a matter of me. There were days I would just go outside and stay outside all day. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Because I got sick of playing the same thing over and over again. And like I said, we didn't have money to get the games all the time. So, but yeah, it wasn't a lot for me. What about you?
Yeah. So like, I think I had like Sonic 2 on it and some other, like I had Sonic 2, Street Fighter 2 Turbo Championship Edition. I got it from KB Toys back when KB was a thing. I had Mortal Kombat. So I had Mortal Kombat on it. Mortal Kombat cost me, because people forget, like people say, oh, games are too expensive. There was no regulation on, there was no MSRP on video games. So Mortal Kombat cost me $90.
Wow.
So yeah, it was $90 when it debuted at KB, $90. So my aunt bought it for me. She gave me $100 for my birthday, and I went and bought Mortal Kombat. And remember, Mortal Kombat had blood in it versus the SNES version. So I remember being like, I was a hardcore fanboy for Sega at the time. So like, you remember the campaign, Sega do what Nintendo don't? Remember that was a thing?
No.
That was a campaign. Like Sega was coming out throwing punches. Sega do what Nintendo don't.
Wow.
That was the thing.
Wow.
I was pretty hardcore, but I didn't have a lot of money, so I didn't have a lot of cartridges. But in my area, right? So I grew up in Buffalo, New York. We had, I believe it was GCI at the time. It was a cable company out of New York that offered Sega Channel. So Sega Channel was a modem you plugged into the cartridge slot of your Sega Genesis. It was plugged in, and you had coax in the back, like your cable provider provided you with that. And it gave you 100 games a month. And not a lot of people remember this. This is way ahead of its time. So I would wait up midnight on the first, waiting for the games to roll over. And because of Sega Channel, I was able to play Ristar, Earthworm Jim, Vector Man, man, you name it. Like like a catalog, like Fantasy Star, like all these games dropped every month. And then before it died out, because I guess the service wasn't utilized enough. I don't remember how much I was paying, right? Because I didn't pay the bill. My mom did, but I convinced her because I was like, oh well, you know, I can get this many games at this price. I can get one game for like $70, or you can give me this, and then I get 100 games. Yada yada yada. I convinced her to get it. But before it died, they were rolling every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks, they would give you 100 new games because they were trying to stay afloat before it finally died. But yeah, that system was way ahead of its time because it had expansion, right? So you had the modem that you could put in there to play games. It also had, remember Sega CD? It was an attachment you could connect to your Sega Genesis, and it would make your games look better. So you had like the Mortal Kombat Sega CD version that came out that was like better looking. I don't remember, to be honest with you. I never had a Sega CD. I couldn't keep convincing her to buy more stuff. That was I tried. But I played a lot of games just because of the subscription service, which was not even heard of at the time, and then didn't resurface until you had your game taps and your Dreamcast with the modem built into it, and like that type of game service that now we have Game Pass, right, which is a spiritual successor to Sega Channel, and you know, on the same model as Netflix. Like all that stuff existed because of OG Genesis when it came to market. So I was big into it, but I was jealous of my cousins who had Mario World and which Zelda came out for the SNES?
Yeah, I was looking at that.
2 or 3?
I think it was like a Link to the Past or something like that, or some.
I can't remember. But they had some bangers. They had some really good games. I never went back. So when the SNES Classic came out, I was going to buy one. I never got a chance to do it. I got the NES Classic, but I never got the Super NES Classic, just so I could experience it, right? Gamepad was dope. They had a bunch of good games for it, but I just never. I had the funds.
Yeah,
and I got way more out of Sega Channel than I probably would have gotten any other way, right? So that was just fortunate and lined up that way, where I can get 200 games. It's a bunch of games, man. Like I remember playing an X-Men game where you play as Nightcrawler and you would like teleport through walls. That was a thing.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of games that I used to play, but it was definitely worth the money at the time, and that's what hooked me. And I didn't get a Saturn, the next generation, which we'll talk about next week, but I did get a Dreamcast and so on and so forth. I was big into Sega. I wish they could have stayed afloat in the hardware space, but it is what it is, right? But yeah, I no hate on the SNES kids, but y'all did have some some great games. Not gonna lie, y'all had some real good games during that generation.
Yeah,
but I just totally missed out on it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw a little hate at Sega. I mean, obviously, I'm a diehard like Dreamcast fan, but I was just pulling up some lists here, like the top games for Sega Genesis, top games for Super Nintendo, and right. And actually, I didn't know about the Sega Channel. That's actually new to me. It's brand new to me. I was like, oh damn, I didn't even know that existed. It looks like a pretty cool service. But after I was like looking at the game selection, I was kind of like, I'm kind of glad I had a Super Nintendo. I feel like the Genesis didn't have like the bangers like Super Nintendo had like at the time, because they had like, all kinds of stuff going on. And then I even forgot about Super Mario RPG which was like
Oh
one of
yeah, it did
my
debut on
favorite
there.
games. Yeah, that's one of my favorite games in that console. That was a big, because that was Nintendo and Square, which Square obviously made like Final Fantasy.
Right.
That was like a big collab that they did, and it was like probably one of the best games out there. It's got a big following. But yeah, I was just looking at kind of like the top 10 lists, top 100 lists or whatever for both consoles. I was like, Genesis wasn't. I think I kind of see why I wasn't really big into the Genesis. I don't see many games that I was like really jumping,
Right.
jumping after or whatever. Sonic the Hedgehog was actually like the big one. Sonic and Knuckles when that came out too. That was a pretty big one.
Yeah.
But not like a lot of big games that like, especially like maybe exclusive games, I suppose, for Sega that I like was really wanting to play at the time. But I wanted to play all the Super Nintendo games. Obviously, I had a Nintendo originally. And I was like, oh, I want to play the Super Mario. I want to play the new Zelda, Link to the Past, and I want to play. They had the Mario Kart. That's like when the Mario Kart I guess came out.
Mario Kart drop. Yep.
Yeah. So they got a lot of big ones that are still kind of hot today. All the big titles, Star Fox and all that came out on that console. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just not as impressed with the Genesis. I'm sorry, fellas.
Right.
I know that's your
I hear
console.
that. I hear that.
Yeah.
I found this game, what it was called Eternal Champions.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Eternal Champions. Let me look that one up.
That was definitely a fighter back in the day. Yeah, man. So the fourth generation was pretty good. I didn't get into TurboGrafx. My cousin had an SNK Neo Geo. I think it had like Samurai Showdown, I want to say, was on that thing. So we used to go over there and play that. It was weird about the Neo Geos. It came in two flavors. They had cartridge Neo Geo and a CD based Neo Geo. They had the CD based one, I want to say. So like it was crazy back in the day.
Yeah.
It was the Wild West.
Yeah, they had all kinds of attachments and accessories and stuff like that.
It wasn't until it wasn't until the fifth generation when things started to pare down. That's when people started to go out of business.
Yeah.
So thank you for walking down this nostalgic path with me. We'll get into the fifth generation next go round sooner than an hour and 20 minutes in. And we'll talk about Sega Saturn, Sony PlayStation, and Nintendo 64. I only had two of those. Again, like money was getting better. I had a job, but couldn't afford all of them. But definitely appreciate you guys joining me. So thank you, Shannon. Thank you, LeVon. It's always good to have you guys on. It was a good week. So definitely tune in to Monday about Apple, Tuesday about the SimSwap FCC, Wednesday about ransomware and how it impacted a mother and her child. And then obviously get through today's episode to hear this, obviously. And give us your feedback and what have you. So again, I want to get more guests to pop in on Wednesday. So we're working on that solution to getting them onto the show, and just continue to like, listen, share, all that good stuff, and give us some feedback. So always interested in your feedback every week. Hit up the websites, www.theothersideofthefirewall.com. We get to all of our social medias. You can hit me up personally. I am at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. I am on Clubhouse, LinkedIn, Twitter, and TikTok. And you, LeVon?
Hit me up on the Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. Stay safe. Stay secure.
Take care.